Seth MacFarlane is mostly amazing. He was so driven at the various art forms that he loved at such a young age that he began making money at it at age 9. Yes, that's right, Seth MacFarlane produced a weekly comic strip for a local newspaper for $5 a week. Talk about loving what you do. Maybe it's no surprise that he finds himself as one of the few admired, or the few left, one of the few admired creators in the visual media space right now. Let's review what he's created so far, and then let's focus on all of the new that he's working on right now. Let's go.
Ladies and gentlemen, hiss and foes, welcome to the Culture Casino!
Starting his adult professional career as an animator with Hanna-Barbera, Seth was recruited there because of his writing talent and not necessarily for his drawings. He contributed to 4 different shows for Cartoon Network while he was there, and he worked in various capacities for Hanna-Barbera. Now, MacFarlane became very restless. He wanted to branch out on his own, and he pitched a network one of his shows. In fact, he pitched Fox Network Family Guy for the second time, not the first time, the second time in 1997. They gave him a tiny little budget to work with, $50,000 for him to produce a pilot, on the promise that if it was good and they bought it, it would be a full purchase, which means they were going to do a full set of episodes, full season. So 6 months later, Seth delivered a defining moment in his career, a ghost show on Fox. His writing set the tone of the show, and his voices gave the characters their personality. So at 24, Seth became the youngest executive producer in television history. Family Guy became a billion-dollar franchise, and American Dad performed very well. So after a lengthy negotiation in 2008, Seth agreed to a $100 million contract to keep both shows at Fox until 2012. At that point, he became the highest paid television writer that there was. MacFarlane also created The Cleveland Show, which enjoyed 4 seasons on Fox. His most important project to most of us began in 2016 when Seth set to work on The Orville. This show has moved around a little bit now, but it still gives fans the eerie nostalgia of being good Star Trek. Isn't that weird? Now, I could go on about the large number of accomplishments and the large number of productions, movies, music, and other creations that Seth has brought into the world. But that's not why we're here today. Today, we want to talk about all of the things that Seth is bringing us in the future. And so far, there's several. Seth moved on from Fox for an enormous amount of money. They gave him $200 million to set up a shop at NBC Universal, which meant he would be developing projects in a development deal with them for the foreseeable future, or for several years. And he's given a great deal of freedom as part of that deal to pick the programming that he wants to develop for all of Universal Comcast's different networks and their upcoming streaming service, Peacock, although I guess technically it's in existence now. But very quietly, it seems, Seth has already been on the ground, and he hit the ground running. So let's take a look at 4 of the many projects that Seth has lined up to produce, starting with the first one that comes to mind, which is Micronations. Micronations is a show that is supposed to be unscripted. It's going to be the journey of a host, who is yet to be determined, to travel around the world that actually doesn't exist, visiting places that don't actually exist. The host will discover along the way what it means to be a citizen, what it means to belong, and what it takes to make a country. I actually have no idea what this show will feel like, but the broad concepts are interesting, to say the least, and the fact that it's going to be unscripted means that it'll be like nothing we've ever seen before in this space. Anyway, next up is something very interesting. It's a thriller. called Skywatch. The show will revolve around a teenager who hacks a drone and becomes embroiled in a life or death struggle when he crashes it. This project was originally crowdfunded and was a viral 10-minute film. This was produced by a former Pixar artist and several other talented folks, including Jude Law. Now, you can still find it on YouTube and add to its 1.4 million views so far. The very first thing that Seth went about setting up after this, or I should say the very first thing that he set up in his overall deal, was a limited series based on Woke's, Woke's, different thing, this is a writer, WW2 epic called The Winds of War. Now, it's also going to include the sequel, War and Remembrance. So this will be a pretty decent sized limited series. Now, the story should be compelling and is promising enough for UCP that they are actually going to shop it around, which means that other networks and streaming services will have an opportunity to bid on it. It is in grand scale, but it is, of course, a limited series, so it may be a proven winner for somebody like HBO Max, HBO, Netflix, one of those folks. And then the saddest of all of these potential series is there's another limited series that is based on the Little Rock Nine. Now, it is sad because of the story around the desegregation case that it's based on and the memoir of the little girl that was caught up in it. In this adaptation, you're going to be able to follow that 14-year-old Carletta Walls as she becomes the first of a few black students to attend Central High in Little Rock, Arkansas. Now, this story will be obviously incredibly poignant because right now we're dealing with all the calls for segregation that is, being brought upon by the alt-left hate groups. So this will be interesting. Now, sadder still, of course, is that this was likely the last deal that Chadwick Boseman made for his own production company, Exception Content, before he passed away. That was 10 days later, so it's really sad. But Seth is, of course, working on many, many other things. He's got a lot of other irons in the fire as part of this overall deal, and while I can't wait to hear more about the ones that have been rumored, I guarantee you that when I do, I will probably cover them in a video similar to this. Now, I want to thank you all for coming here today and supporting the channel and checking out this video update about what Seth MacFarlane's been doing. Be sure to check out other independent creators that are on the platform because they certainly they deserve a little bit of your attention as well. And of course, many of them are my friends that I get to hang out with and stream with, so be sure to check out all of the other channels that you see me refer to here. Anyway, I want you to go about your day, have a great one. Be sure to take care of yourself, take care of others, wash your hands, as I say every time, and until next time, bye.
Thanks for visiting today. Be sure you're subscribed and hit that for alerts.
Yay!
Of course, like and share all of the videos that you can as it helps with the algorithm. Have a great day.